Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. How do you spend your days? Do you take some time to pause, to start your day with intention, to end the day with gratitude, gratitude and thanksgiving for another day on this earth? When you wake up in the morning, do you say, "Thank you, God, for another day that I get to live, not just exist, not just get through, but what do you want to do to really live?" As far as we know, you only have one life. What are you doing with it? In Bob Proctor's book, The ABCs of Success, he talks about time and how will you spend it. Regardless of how you look at your stay here on this earth, you must admit that life is short. You and I possess a potential to make out of our lives whatever we choose. We all get the same amount of time every day. We get all there is. To waste any of the precious commodity we refer to as time, Bob Proctor says, is a disgusting thought to my mind. Unless I am extremely tired, I even resent the time I spend unconscious each night, or should I say most nights. There are occasions when I do not sleep at night. Now listen closely, because if you haven't figured this out yet, what I'm about to say will hopefully shock you into a more exciting way of life. The average person spends 4 hours each day in front of the television set. That adds up to 10 and a half years between the ages of 2 and 65. Add that to the 21 years that same average person spends sleeping, which is what 8 hours a night works out to, and you realize that exactly one half of the 63 years I'm referring to is spent either totally unconscious or in front of a vacuum tube creating a head to match. Think about it. 31 and a half years, either in front of a TV or sleeping. This is not an indictment against TV, and I agree we must rest, but this is ridiculous. If you truly wanted to accept something in this life, and if you happen to fall into the category I'm referring to, you know what to do. If you just cut back 2 hours a day in each of these areas, you would add 60 24-hour days to each year. That's a lot of time. You could enjoy a richer life. Over the 63 years I'm referring to, you would have an extra 10 years to accomplish whatever you choose. That's a lot of time we all spend. How are you going to spend it? Now, I totally agree with Bob, but he also says most people are pushing and grinding and forcing themselves to stay in jobs or relationships that are not serving them. And rather than pushing, you must spend some time in reflective pausing, in meditation, in prayer, in thinking about what do you really want, not just doing for the sake of doing, not just being busy. Are you productive? Are you living the life that you choose, or are you living the life that you were pushed into by well-meaning parents or following friends and the average person's idea of what life should look like? Should to who? What do you really want? Takes taking some time to just relax and allow your mind to dream, to think, to decide what you want and decide which direction you're going in, because this is an infinite universe and you have infinite potential. And while your life on this earth is short, how do you want to be spending your time here? Do you love what you're doing? Are you working to create the life that you love, or are you just working to earn a paycheck? There's a difference. How do you spend your time? Time is what we want most, but what we use the worst. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. So think about how you're spending your time. If you're mindlessly in front of the TV for 4 hours, what if you took 1 hour of that time and spent it reading, studying, learning about the universal laws, learning about what's available to you, what's possible for you? And since we live in a world of infinite possibilities, and you have infinite potential because you were created perfectly in the image of God, what you choose to do with your time can lead you to what you really desire instead of following the usual practice of what most people do. You don't have to go to school to get a good job, to earn a paycheck, to pay the bills, to hope there's enough money in the bank to retire, and then hope you have enough time and health available to do the things you want before you die. How much time do you spend in joy, in doing something productive that serves the world, that enlightens your mind? Do you have a vision? Here's the next story in Bob Proctor's ABCs of Success. Vision. He tells us to build the picture. Many years ago, Helen Keller was asked if she thought there was anything worse than being blind. She quickly replied that there was something much worse. She said, "The most pathetic person in the world is a person who has their sight but no vision." Any thinking person would quickly agree with Helen Keller. When people have no vision of a better way of life, they have automatically shut themselves into a prison. They have limited themselves to a life without hope. This frequently happens when people have seriously tried on a number of occasions to win, only to meet with failure time after time. Repeated failures can damage people's self-image and cause them to lose sight of their potential. They give up and resign themselves to what they call fate. Vernon Howard wrote that you cannot escape from a prison if you do not know that you are in one. Howard is right. These people are in a prison of their own making and don't know it. Without a vision of a better life, there can be no hope. If you happen to be caught in this type of negative cycle, take the first step in predicting your own prosperous future. Build a mental image of exactly how you would like to live. Hold on to that vision. I like to do a visioneering exercise, which Bob Proctor's partner, Sandy Gallagher, uses. She says to relax, put on some soft music, close your eyes, close out any other distractions. Of course, you're not going to do this if you're driving, but you want to do this when you're alone, or you can block out the outside world. You might get so good at this, you could do it on a busy street, on a bus, anytime. But close your eyes and imagine, visualize what you would love, and get into the feeling not of the missing what you want, but of what it will do for you when you're living that way. How wonderful, how beautiful, how rewarding your life feels when you take the time to visualize. Taking time to visualize is an investment in your future. It is imagining the best that can happen instead of spending your time worrying about the worst that could happen. That takes you in a totally different direction. It is one of the best uses of your time to take a deep breath in, allow your central nervous system to relax. This allows you to respond instead of react. This allows an opportunity for you to hear the voice of God, your inner guidance system, the direction that you want your life to go in. Thinking about if you could orchestrate your life, how would you live it? How would you spend your day? Instead of doing what you think you have to do, instead of continuing on with unfulfilling work that maybe you've been forced into, how would you spend your day? How would you serve your loved ones from an open heart filled with joy and love? When you hold on to the vision and positive ways to improve, everything will begin to flow into your mind because your vision is a mental picture of the actual lifestyle of many people you know or know of. Rather than being resentful or jealous, you could imagine yourself being in that picture. Imagine the freedom, the love, the specialness, the joy. And realize this simple truth. If other people can do it, you certainly can. All people have the same potential to live their dream. It is simply a matter of utilizing the unlimited potential we all have. And also, how are you spending your time? Worry is a waste of your precious time and energy. What if you decide to let go of that old baggage, that old automatic way of worrying, doubting, imagining the worst? Instead, spend some time imagining the best. Rand said, a desire presupposes a possibility of action to achieve it. Action presupposes a goal which is worth achieving. And rather than spending your time fearing, doubting, what if you could just wonder and dream dreams? And as you're quietly visualizing, ideas will pop into your head. When you get into a vibrational frequency of feeling wonderful, feeling peaceful, feeling that your life is guided, you'll get ideas. And when you spend your time taking action on your vision, your life becomes what you want and even better, even more. What you hold in your heart is what you experience in your life. Make it beautiful, make it flowing, allow the good to come. I don't know if you ever heard the story of Don Quixote. Bob Proctor writes about the Quixote attitude. There was a Broadway play called Man of La Mancha, and in the play, Don Quixote is near death. He has been mocked and scorned because he is such a positive thinker. And when you look around in this world, oftentimes people are teased, mocked, scorned because they think positively. And other people say, oh, you have rose-colored glasses on. What color are the clouds in your head? But finally, in an excellent stand of self-defense, Don Quixote asks the ultimate question: who is crazy? Am I crazy because I see the world as it could be? Or is the world crazy because it only sees itself as it is? Don Quixote presents us with a tremendous question. Ask yourself, who's crazy, the realist or the idealist? Bringing all of your conscious attention to bear on your present results will produce more of the same results, just as certain as the night follows the day. This is why unhappy people tend to remain unhappy. It is why lonely people tend to remain lonely. It is also why poor people tend to remain poor. Are you focusing on what you want, or what's already here? James Allen wrote, the visionaries are the saviors of the world. And they are. All of the wonderful inventions that have made our lives more comfortable were brought to us by the Don Quixotes of the world. These individuals saw the world as it could become. If you happen to get a little down today, or if you've been in a rut, develop the Coyote attitude. See your position at work or at business, your relationships, your marks in school, or your sales as they could be. Build a beautiful picture of the improved results in your mind. Don't permit the naysayers to sway you. Form the Coyote attitude and have fun. You'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Carl Jung said, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks inside awakes. And Gloria Steinem said, without leaps of imagination or dreaming, we lose the excitement of possibilities. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning. And Eleanor Roosevelt, one of the great women in history, said, remember always that you not only have the right to be an individual, you have an obligation to be one. And Bob Proctor taught you have a responsibility to live the life that you want to live. You are responsible for how your life turns out. Maybe you were programmed to look at the dark side, or to look at life realistically, or to look at the negative. But that's not all there is. It's the little things that you do that can make a big difference. What are you attempting to accomplish? What little thing can you do today that will make you more effective? What if you're only one step away from greatness? What if you're only one step away from that beautiful life? What if you spent 10 minutes, grab a pen and paper, and even 5 minutes. Right now it is 7:26 a.m. What if you just grabbed a pen and paper and wrote down the beautiful vision that you hold in your mind? What does it look like if you had the Don Quixote attitude of building a beautiful picture of the improved results that you want to be living? Right? You build it in your mind, you write it down. How would it look? How happy would you be once this is true for you? And don't look at it with the want of it's never coming, but the feeling as if it's already here. Because when you take a beautiful idea and think of it with all your heart, how beautiful, how wonderful, how joyful, how peaceful, how loving, how divinely blessed, write it out in positive words. Words matter. The words that you say, the things you think about with feeling, become your life's experience. So if you want things to change, you want to change your heart, your mind, your actions. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. You change you, and then you'll be not only pleasantly surprised, you'll be living in such a beautiful life. Doesn't matter what other people are doing. Doesn't matter what other people are saying, because The life you're living is so wonderful, other people's opinions will not take you down. He that can heroically endure adversity will bear prosperity with equal greatness of soul. For the mind that cannot be dejected by the former is not likely to be transported with the latter. Don't worry about what other people think, say, or do. You do you. You are only responsible for your life. What are you doing with your limited time here? What if you were one step away from that beautiful life? What do you want people to say when you're gone? How did you change your life? How did you affect other people? How did you live your way without worrying about what other people think, say, or do? You do you. Create a beautiful life. Enjoy your day. Practice this over the weekend. Practice visualizing what you want, writing it down, carrying it close to you, reminding yourself this is a wonderful world. Maybe put on some beautiful music. Put on a timer if you're worried about wasting time. Spend time thinking about how beautiful your life can be and watch it develop. And I'll see you back here Monday morning at 7. Thank you.